Welcome Libra to the rest of February, I almost said February. To February's reading for 2024. My name is Verity and thank you for being with me. We're just going to pull 5 cards for the Access Monday spread and just finding out, what is the dominating archetype for Libra, Libra, Sun, Moon. God, my words are so funny. I want to say Sun, Moon, Air, Rising. I mean, I get it, but Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus for the Libra archetype, February 2024. I don't know what's happening to me. Alright, so in the center self, this keeps coming up. The dead end. I talked about this in my video a few days ago. It keeps coming up. This dead end energy is exactly what it says. It feels like, no thank you, no more, I'm done, you can F off. I am not taking any phone calls. The end. Life is really intense right now. And it might feel like it's just like punch after punch after punch after punch, and it seems like all of these energies, rockets or desires or plans or efforts that are going out into the world are kind of getting crisscrossed like this, right? Like you shoot out a rocket beam and think that it's going to go somewhere, and instead it just like bounces off this wall and then hits that person's truck and then comes over and explodes in a cake, or you know what I mean? Like it's like I'm kind of feeling like these rockets of desire, if you will, are just like bouncing off crazy things and then creating this giant web of stuckness, perceived stuckness, almost like it's I don't want to say like a web you cast yourself in like a it's your fault way. That's not how I mean it. But like in our efforts to find security and a path forward in life, we try different things and sometimes they end up ensnaring us instead of freeing us. It's kind of more like that energy. So definitely not in hey, you screwed up and made wrong choices way. It's just kind of like, oof. Yeah, ouch. I can see how like this kind of took a turn that you couldn't foresee, and now all of a sudden you're trapped in this thing, right? And it might feel like being trapped and just can't get out of where you're in. Oh, that went right into my gut, that one. So yeah, disappointment. Feeling a lot of disappointment. Just that heaviness. And even so, like backed away from the camera, like looking at this card, it just reminds me of like when a kid just takes colors, crayons, and just scribbles like crazy all over the paper, and it's just like this crazy mess, and sometimes the mess is beautiful, but this definitely feels like I have a small headache now in the back, like right here. So there's definitely like a pressure and a release valve that needs. So it's like wow, yeah, that's really intense. I swear I didn't have that 5 minutes ago. It's like literally debilitating pain, right? Like in your physical body, in your emotional body, in your mental body, all of these thoughts and trying to plan and trying to get things done and out of the head, And so I'm really feeling like that need to just like somehow poke a hole in these brambles. So offering just like a weird meditation, I guess, if you will, that if you feel right into this dark space of just like literally you are being encased by these thorn bushes, by the shrubbery, and it feels a bit claustrophobic and you feel like just moving in any direction is a failed attempt and you can't back out and you can't stretch out, and now you're starting to get cramped and you might be get a little fearful and there's that anxiety and you want to call out and you don't know if it needs, take that energy, and then I want you to, or I invite you to, like, you know, maybe close your eyes if you're not already doing that, and take account for a minute, like where your actual body is. Like, tap your body and come back into your body. Remember that you're in it. Come back into your breath and maybe look down and see, like, do I have a pair of scissors in my pocket? Do I have a knife? Do I have what tool is available to me right now? Maybe it doesn't have to be a sharp knife. This is a creative exercise, so whatever works for you and your beautiful, brilliant imagination. And utilize that thing to start cutting your way out of the shrubbery. If it helps you to imagine the things that you feel are binding you or constricting you in your life at this time, maybe it's your rent, maybe it's your job, maybe it's a desire, maybe it's a relationship, and just imagine yourself kind of like making way, right? Feeling the release in your muscles from being really clenched up to all of a sudden having room, right? Just really feel into the sensation, or if it's better, if this is more helpful, then do this. But like, there's this exercise that was gifted to me where it's like you can clench your fist really hard, like just clench, 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 and imagine like in your hand is this knotted ball, right? Like exactly what you see on this card, and just clench, 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 and think about what those problems are, those constrictions and stuff that are happening in your life. And then slowly and surely just release, and slowly unravel your fingers and your hands, and just take notice of what it feels like to allow the muscles that freedom again, that space, that exercise. And if you can, apply that for inside of your body, wherever you're feeling knots, wherever you're feeling that constriction. Maybe it's that mental picture that, you know, we just explored. Whatever sort of variation, I'm just spitting some things out on the top of my head, you know, might work for you to allow yourself feeling like you can take up that space. Like there is a, you know, like there is a whole, you know, like a light at the end of the tunnel kind of sensation. Anything that can help your body and you energetically just like, right? And remember that there is a solution to every problem. Maybe it's not like your conventional one. That's why it's like, maybe it's not scissors in your pocket, but maybe it's one of those imagination erasers, right? Where like you take out that magic eraser and you just start erasing this shrub bush. You just start erasing it, whatever it is that your body wants to do. And I encourage you to get up and physically do it. You know, like imagine yourself erasing yourself out of this shrub. Allow your body the remembrance of it coming into its power and its agency and its own freedom. And this is temporary. You are not stuck forever. There are forces that are in motion, even if they seem static. Remember that this table feels solid. It looks solid to my naked eye. I don't have the true knowing in my bones and the experience to know that this table is actually a bunch of loose vibrating molecules, but I know that science has proved it. And so there's an act of faith and trust within that. And so I'm asking you to do the same. Remember that all things are changing even when they feel static, and you will make yourself loose of this. In the space of the upper world forces, which are always happening for your good, we have the vision. I love this for you. I'm keeping that vision in your mind, especially because like in this card, what's coming, up for me very deeply, is this nighttime forest scene. And I feel like that's a continuation of this dead end here. It's like, I feel like a little bit like you're this character going through the woods and you're lost or making your way through the woods, and now nighttime has fallen, you know, and the trees take a different shape and the noises sound different, and all of a sudden it's a much scarier place to be. And that might be what this energy is. It's like you're lost in the woods at night and you're on this path, you have a mission, but right now you have not made it to Oz yet. You were in the woods. And in that, you must hold your vision true, because your vision becomes the light in your lantern. Like in the tarot card of the Hermit is representative of this wizard person, man, whatever, who has now walked through the dark night of the soul, and has come to know himself so deeply and know God through himself, that he walks with the faith and the knowledge that there's always a miracle waiting to happen, and it will happen. That, and please, when I say God, like, please replace whatever word is comfortable for you. I don't care. Source, David Bowie, your dog, gravity, enchantress, whatever, you know. Please just do that for yourself. But yeah, I really see like the vision, because in tarot, the light that is in the Hermit's lantern is actually the North Star from the Star card in the Major Arcana. And that Star card represents literally your vision, your goals, your hopes, your inspiration, and that miracle moment that happens when you think all hope is lost. It is, you know, in Harry Potter, when you think he's going to get eaten by the big snake, and then the phoenix out of nowhere comes in through the tunnels and saves him. It's that moment, you know, in Lord of the Rings when Gandalf comes and Frodo's like falling down into the lava volcano dragon mouth or whatever. I don't know. It's been a long time, you know, but it's that, oh man, evil's won. There is no hope. We're screwed. And then that last second miracle, that is the breaking of the dawn. That is the vision for this card. And so being in the upper world, again, I just feel like it's a really strong, like, keep your vision in your heart and in your mind, no matter how long or how deep you're digging through those trenches. Keep this in your mind's eye. Keep this in your heart. Keep this in your solar plexus chakra. Keep this in your footpath, in your breath, in your ever knowing, ever guiding, and you will come out of it, and unlikely helpers will reveal themselves, and miracles will happen if you believe and accept and allow and invite them in. They will guide your path, and you will make it to the top of the mountain where all of spirit blesses you. You will get there. It's pretty juicy. In the space of the underworld, we have the Father. So perhaps this is your actual father or a mentor father. It could be your father lineage, like wounding in your ancestral line that's asking to be healed. It can also be the father principle. I'm walking with this myself for sure right now, where so much grief and anger is coming up for me just around the masculine and the divine father, feeling, just trying to like walk with the wounding I sustained as a child around feeling abandoned by Jesus and God and the church. And I was raised in the church as a Christian, and that's not how I identify now, but you know, that wound of my 10-year-old self or whatever is still activated within this body. And part of my journey is to mend that with the true, you know, creator, creatrix, and redefining what that is, and what fatherhood looks like in a beneficial way, so that I can reparent myself, right? And so I think there's definitely a reparenting that's coming here. It's like, what, when I say the word father, what comes to mind for you? Is it an abusive alcoholic? Is it a child molester? Is it someone who actually really supported you but enabled you? Is it maybe the system that you're resentful towards that might be keeping you down. That's one for me for sure too, where it's like I resent society and authority figures so much that then I disown my own power and don't step into my own authority. And that's a path that I am working on and I am working with. That's part of my medicine walk, right? And I'm being vulnerable right now by sharing examples, but I think it's medicine to share where we're coming from and be vulnerable and just say, hey, these are some ways that it can manifest, and this is partly how I'm walking with it. And in that underworld position, again, it's what you resist persists, right? So maybe there's wounding for you around, like, maybe you don't want kids. You don't want to be a father. You don't want to ever take that on because of wounding that you might have sustained, or the wound around, I couldn't protect. I couldn't provide for, I couldn't protect. And so I'm shut down in my masculinity. What are these things that are holding you back? Maybe it is that. Maybe there are conditions around what you were told a man should be and what a man should do. And those aren't serving you anymore. And they're actually holding you hostage. And you're getting a choice here to shed what no longer needs to be there, that is blocking your energy, and to come into the light and to bring it into wholeness and into integration. A mantra that you can use, but please use your own words that fits for you. But it can be something along the lines of, I let go of whatever, negative energies are no longer serving me in regards to my father line or the divine masculine in this timeline, in all timelines, in this lifetime, throughout my lineage. Healed, may it be healed into completion, brought back to source, once and for all, here and now. So mote it be, right? But quantifying whatever energies are no longer serving you, like whatever distorted or negative energies around the father that are no longer serving you, may they be brought back to source, transmuted for the highest of love and light and for the benefit of all, healed into completion, this lifetime, all lifetimes, through your ancestral lineage, here and now, once and for all. So mote it be. And work with that every day and really feel that in your body. Really feel yourself clearing and letting that go and almost off-gassing from your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual body, your intellectual body, your ethereal body, your light body, like all of it. Just try to be aware of that, and bring kindness and forgiveness. Like I honor the lessons that it was teaching me and I let them go, which no longer I need to carry. I'm making space so that you can now fill this space, this space that this tree is taking up, so that you can fill all the space that you are meant to fill in your divine masculinity. And it's how is that masculinity, how has it protected me, how has it served me, and how has it betrayed me? How have I been wounded by this energy? And by that wounding that I'm refusing to deal with or look at, it is actually running me in my life. Maybe you had an abusive father, and as a child, we mirror those who we don't feel safe with so that they can adopt us into our tribe, their tribe, so that we are no longer in danger. That's how empathy works. And so maybe now as an adult, you find yourself eerily repeating patterns of your parents that you swore you would never repeat, consciously, unconsciously, maybe in a physical way, maybe in an emotional pattern, right? And you have the ability to say, you know what, those were my parents, I was of them, I was from them, I was from them, but I don't have to be of them or whatever, right? Where it's like, I'm choosing in this moment right now to feed into my light self, into my highest potential, and I am going to bless and let go of the rest, and be really conscious about that. So that's just an invitation for you. I hope that makes sense, and please explore that. Yeah. And again, I'm going in the negative because it's in the underworld. So it is the stuff that's the heebie-jeebies, kind of the ghosts under, in your closet, so to speak, that are kind of like wreaking havoc. So, in your past, we have the cave. which actually is inherently to me a very matriarchal, like motherly, feminine card. The cave represents your womb as well. It's that sacred, safe space. And I love it because it's also kind of given a shout out in this card where there's not only the light deep down in the underbelly here, which is where you excavate your gems, but there's also the man up here who's made it into the mountain, and that's a cave on the cave top, right? And he's finally made it through the woods, through all of his ordeals. He's now transformed into somebody totally different as a result, right? Has made it through, cultivated that inner light, climbed up that mountain, and has now found safety in that cave, has now found accomplishment, that he is experiencing all of spirit, all of God, right? And so this light here, right, is repeated right there. And so that cave represents, well, it can represent a lot of things, but it is that what creates emotional safety for you. What is the containment field that you require that you can feel protected, safe, and strong, right? Maybe because it's in the past, it's fairly neutral, call it. It's hindsight. So also, maybe what are you hiding? What did you hide things in the cave so that you could feel protected, but kind of maybe bit you in the butt later because you were hiding secrets? Or, you know, you made your home in this cave that only had one way in and one way out so that you could be the ultimate defender and protector of your supposed peace, but you never let anybody in, and it's cold and gloomy and wet and dark, and like, who wants to live in a cave unless you've got like some nice cushy things and a lamp and a space heater, right? And like a dehumidifier. If it's just the cave, it's kind of crappy. But if you're also just like out there in the woods, it brings you a lot of solace knowing that you've got 3 walls against your back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fleshing out all of these examples because maybe one or all of them work for you. I'm not sure. You're the expert in your own life, you know? But yeah, in hindsight. So, and then I'd say also, how do you bring that cave with you in a healthy and whole way? If that cave represents protection and home and safety, how do you bring that with you on your journey? And how do you actually infuse that into this space in the dead end where, like, even though you're completely trapped in this shrub, it's not exactly safe. You still feel like exposed, right? So how do we create this emotional safety container in healthy ways that's actually supporting us and not, you know, false supportive ways that are actually hindering us? So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say there. And in the future card, we have the Eternal Child. I actually really love this because in this reading, we have, to me, almost like hints of the divine trio. Like, thank you. What I mean by that is, like, to me, I feel like we have hints of like the Mother, the Father, and the Child, which is the Holy Trinity, you know, like, and the Holy Trinity. Yeah, like, sorry, my brain's starting to get like, oh my God. You know, like God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Like, there's just these trinities that we see time and time again. Mind, body, spirit, or whatever. Please don't hold me to these, but yeah, because we have the Father card, we have the Cave card, which again, the cave can also represent the womb, and the womb, of course, would be a feminine principle, and then you have your Eternal Child. So the Eternal Child represents, that part of you that remains innocent and playful and hopeful no matter what. Right? It's so resilient. It's unsquashed. It reminds me of the child in the tarot on the Sun card. And the Sun card is considered like one of the more, I don't want to say powerful major arcanas, because that's not how I want to paint it. But if you imagine like you the sun is the center of the solar system. And so if you, being a sun sign, or like you are the sun and therefore center of the solar system, aka your life, you're literally like the center of the universe, right? And you must shine your light. That's sort of that internal, the eternal child. It's ever innocent, ever trusting, so heart open, giggling, wonder, imagination, just full trust, you know. And as a result, oh yeah, because there's like the sun literally right here with all of that innocence. And then you've got all of these rays. And I love these rays because all of these rays to me indicate just like the infinite paths that you could walk down and manifest and trust. These could also be like stairs, right? And it's kind of like an eyeball too. You've got the pupil and the iris and another, you know, iris. So again, just like insight into the heart of the divine is what I would say. We have scriptures that say that you know, to get into the kingdom of heaven, which I'm not talking about heaven being a place like heaven and hell in the Christianity terms at all. I'm talking about heaven here on earth in your own body, in your own life, in your own experience, finding the divine in every breath. That is actual heaven, you know, and living from that heart space and to live in that childlike wonder and curiosity and playfulness. So I really love that this is showing up as like a possibility, especially to me, it's again, in a way, like a promise. Because we've got, again, the vision on the top, which is the cosmic helpers. And then we've got the dead end below it, which is your present situation. And then to the right of it, as a future possibility, we have this child. And so to me, that's like a double whammy of like keeping this blind, I don't want to say blind faith, that's not fair, but kind of, because it's faith like the child, you know, like when the child looks at its father, you know, or mother, it's always like, my dad's better than your dad. And my dad's always gonna come. You know what I mean? It's that sort of just total blanket statement, gregarious, astronomical, like they haven't lived life long enough to realize all the things that could go terribly wrong. You know what I mean? Where you just see heroes and miracles and possibility and play and snacks and wonder. And there's almost like keeping that vision true for yourself and true for humanity and true for your life and true for your loved ones, and allowing that feeling to sink in. Just like we did with finding, you know, a way to get out of the energy of this. By doing that, you're also inviting in, if you want to take it a step further, once you've cleared yourself out of this energy, right, and you can feel that opening, if you're able to then imagine like the warmth of the sun pouring over you like hot honey, you know, and what does playfulness feel like? What does wonder feel like? What does joy feel like? For a split moment, can you think of anything that allows in this feeling of possibility, right? And let that as much as possible to like really sink into your field, and just sit with that as much as you can. And that's actually how you know, manifest or bring things to you. Okay, agrees. So yeah, I really love this reading for you, Libra. I hope that's helpful and insightful in some way. And we're just going to pull an Archangel Michael card to close out. And yeah, just again, thank you so much for being here with me and spending this time. And so the card is a favorable outcome. Ha 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 ha. My prayer. I'm almost done. Thank you for the beautiful outcome to this situation, which is perfect and fair for everyone involved. It's a Libra word, fair. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me trust and to have faith. It's good. With that, may you be blessed and protected as you walk your path. May your medicine be kind and merciful. May you find grace. Until we meet again. Bye.